My name is Samantha, and I'm an occupational therapy student. At my current fieldwork placement, I am working with individuals who have breast cancer and or lymphedema and are seeking support to learn more about what lymphedema is, lymphedema preventative care, as well as to increase range of motion and reduce pain and tightness, and overall learn how to best support their affected side. I am not an expert, I'm not lymphedema certified, I'm a student, but I just wanted to provide some support for lymphedema prevention and awareness. So if you're watching this video, you may have lymphedema and or breast cancer, and you may notice that your affected side is swelling, or maybe it's not. But I'm happy you're here and you're in the right place. And if you're watching this video, you may be someone who is seeking to support a loved one in their breast cancer and or lymphedema. So you're also in the right place if you're here. And before moving any further, I want to express to please consult with your doctor or lymphedema therapist in order to get support in your lymphedema and or breast cancer and get all of the most accurate information and what supports you're needing for you, because obviously everyone is different, but I just want to spread more awareness about lymphedema and give you information that can help you in your compression garment wear and care for lymphedema prevention. In this video, I am going to be discussing compression garment wear and care, but before getting into that, I want to bring more awareness about what lymphedema is, because maybe you haven't heard of it, or maybe you have, but you're not so sure about the ins and outs of it or how it happens. So there is primary lymphedema, and that would mean that it is genetic, so someone would be born with that. Or there's secondary lymphedema, so that has an onset due to a trauma or surgery to the body, or it could be vascular related. So in terms of lymphatic flow, the lymphatic system is working really hard to pump the lymphatic fluid throughout your body. And normally in a healthy lymphatic system, then the fluid is flowing like water. But in a lymphatic system where there's been some type of trauma to the body or surgery, then the lymph nodes may be affected, and that means that then with lymphedema, the fluid becomes stagnant like jelly. So it's sitting there, and the body cannot effectively pump that fluid throughout the body like water. So some type of treatment is needed for that. And with lymphedema, that treatment is what has been found to be most effective is compression and manual lymphatic drainage. So that is, the manual lymphatic drainage is basically a fancy term for a massage, and the massage is really specific. It goes along the lymphatic pathways, but in this video I'm going to be focusing in on compression. I just want to voice that you can't just do one or the other, like the massage or compression. It has to be the combination. So I don't want that to be misleading at all, that you're thinking, well, I'm not going to get the compression garments, I'm just going to do the massage then, or the opposite, because the massage directs the fluid along lymphatic pathways, and then so in order for the fluid to not just go right back to where it was, the compression then holds that in place. The work that you or someone just did to give you the massage, or for yourself to do the massage, if you don't have compression, then the fluid will just go back to where it was. So that's why that is really key there. And in terms of if you do not have lymphedema, but you are at risk due to different breast cancer treatments or surgery, then lymphedema prevention is important because your lymph nodes have been affected and you are unfortunately at risk for lymphedema. So by doing these preventative measures, then you can avoid lymphedema. And even if you're like, not to put any misinformation out there, like, this is preventative care, but it does not mean that like 100% if you do this you're not going to get lymphedema, but you are doing good in supporting yourself and getting yourself at a lower risk. In this video, I'm delving into compression garment wear and care. So if you do not currently have a compression garment, or you're wondering what is that, then you can keep watching, but you do need to be fit for a compression sleeve and handpiece by a professional. So don't just order one online, because unfortunately you do need to make sure that it has the proper fit, or else it may cause pain and dig into you, or it will not provide you with the compression that you need, and then it won't be effective. So it needs to have a certain type of compression, and you need to be measured in order for it to give you the containment that you're needing for lymphedema prevention. So I want it to do its job and for you to get what you need. So please do, again, reach out to your doctor or lymphedema therapist, or if you don't have a lymphedema therapist, then I recommend asking your doctor for a referral, because even if you aren't sure like what lymphedema is, or you don't have lymphedema, a lymphedema therapist can offer you support for lymphedema prevention, as well as for what I was talking about before in terms of the tightness, pain, and any issues with range of motion that you may be experiencing. And this could be like tightness underneath of your arm and at your chest wall. So I just wanted to express that. Throughout this video, I'm going to be referencing this pamphlet here, and underneath of the title of this video, you can click to see the description of the video, and in there I will have linked a PDF of this, so you can look at it online or print it out, and then that way you can see the written instructions and images. So in addition to this video, which gives instructions, you can also have this to help, like maybe if you forget something or you want to give it to a loved one. So I just wanted to put that out there. And now let's get into it. Now you might be wondering, well, for preventative care, how often do I wear this compression garment and when do I wear it? So if you're on the pamphlet, it is at this section, when to wear garments. So you want to wear the compression sleeve and handpiece during these high-risk tasks. And that includes strenuous activities. So that would be heavy lifting, like maybe you're moving or helping someone move, or you're adjusting furniture, or strenuous tasks like running or lifting weights, or any type of exercise. And it could be yard work, like raking or moving a wheelbarrow, things like that. Or if you're holding a child, or even when you're grocery shopping, that can be strenuous if you're lifting heavy bags or you're lifting a case of water. And if you're cleaning out a basement or furniture, or something like that. So those just gives you an idea of strenuous tasks, what to look out for. But obviously it depends on you and what you're doing in your life. And then the other high-risk task is repetitive arm movements. So that could be if you're washing windows, if you're repetitively putting a bunch of dishes into a cabinet, then you want to put your sleeve on and handpiece on. And if you're gardening, that can get repetitive, or weeding. and a lot of sports tend to be repetitive too, and that's exercise, so that's also a strenuous activity. And then if you're vacuuming, that's one that could be easy to forget about, but you're really moving your arm back and forth there. So that's one you want to look out for. And then if you're shoveling, like maybe you live somewhere where it's snowing or it snows sometimes, then you'll want to throw that sleeve and handpiece on. And if you're hanging laundry up, that you're repetitively moving there, or putting away a bunch of clothes into drawers, or like if you're painting walls or you're doing painting where you're especially moving with it, then that's a repetitive task. And then also air travel. So because of the change in air pressure, that can put you at risk for swelling. So you'll want to put your sleeve and handpiece on then. And it is important to have it during the flight, as well as I recommend to leave it on for 2, 3, or 4 hours after the flight in order for to prevent swelling. And I know that was a lot to throw at you. Just a big reminder to live your life, do the activities that you want or need to do and that you enjoy. Like, please do it. Don't let this hold you back at all. It's just important to be mindful when you're doing certain activities to put your sleeve and handpiece on. And we're all human. Like, maybe you're forgetful one day and you're like, oh no, I just vacuumed and I didn't wear my sleeve and handpiece. Don't panic at all. Like, it's okay. And if you do notice that you're swelling, then just put your sleeve and handpiece on then, or contact your lymphatic therapist or doctor if you're concerned about it. Or it's okay. Like, it's gonna be okay. Like, if you remember the next day and then you're like, oh no, don't be concerned about it. Just try to be more mindful next time. And if you realize you're consistently forgetting, then you can try to implement different strategies that maybe it'll jog your memory. So you could put a piece of paper or put a sticky note on your vacuum, and then it can remind you to put compression on. Or you could set a reminder in your phone if you know around 6 p.m. every day or something like that you're going to be doing a particular activity like gardening or putting dishes away. And going back to the air travel, I just want to mention that if you do have lymphedema and you have the compression garments that I'm talking about, the sleeve and handpiece, as well as the compression alternatives for nighttime, then bring your compression alternatives in a carry-on rather than a bag that is getting checked like a suitcase. So bring it with your carry-on, because I just don't want you to lose that. You never know what happens with that when you're getting bags checked. So bring it on your carry-on to make sure, because these garments can be expensive. So just want to put that out there. I'm going to give you the rundown on some tips that can help you be successful in compression garment wear and care. And if you're following on the pamphlet, it's this page here. First one is to apply your compression sleeve first, and then apply your handpiece, because this will make it a lot easier when you're doing things like washing your hands or washing dishes, because then you can easily take that handpiece off and keep your sleeve on. So that's a tip. And then the next one is to get grippy gardening gloves. And this one might be surprising, why am I going to use these? and you'll get a better idea once I'm showing you how to put the sleeve on. But and you want the gloves to be grippy, not ones that are more slippery or slide. And I recommend, if you're getting the gloves in a store, then even try the glove on your sleeve while you're there, because that'll give you a feel if it's pulling or if it's just sliding across. And the texture, I'm not sure how good this is going to turn out, like in terms of the image, but it's kind of like rubbery like that. And these gloves will then help you to scoop on the fabric and pull the fabric up. And they're important because you don't want to be picking at the fabric with your fingers. That could risk damaging the fabric. And it just is harder to get the garment on like that. So this makes it a lot easier to get it on. And you do just need one glove, the opposite hand of what you're wearing the sleeve, or if you're wearing two sleeves, then you'll want both gloves. But you can just get the set, and then you can always use the other one for gardening or crafting and things like that. And then the glove also helps you to smooth the fabric out, because you don't want there to be ridges in the fabric, which I'll show you, but it helps it to smooth it out. And then some recommendations on where you can purchase these. At the Harbor Freight, if you have that near you. They're in the Lehigh Valley in Pennsylvania, if you're there. Or Ollie's. And for both these stores, they're a couple of dollars, so that's a great deal. And then you could also get them off of Amazon, but try to make sure that they're the rubbery texture. And then you could also get them at any type of gardening store. The last tip is to please wear both the sleeve and the handpiece, because this creates a proper compression gradient. If you don't, then, like, if you're only wearing the sleeve and not the handpiece, you're at risk for swelling to go down to your hand, because it creates then a tourniquet effect, because if you have compression here, then it's going to go there too, not just out. But obviously within reason, like take the handpiece off if you're washing your hands and things like that. And again, focus on the high risk tasks if you don't have lymphedema, because then that is giving you the proper preventative care that you need, so you're not having to wear it all of the time. Here we go. Now I'm going to show you how to actually get the sleeve on. And this might be what your packaging looks like. So then, and in the packaging, I'm also going to get into this at the end, but there are instructions on washing and caring for the garment. And then there's also visuals and instructions for putting the sleeve on. So in addition to this video and the pamphlet, you can use this information too. The first step to putting the sleeve on is you're actually going to inside it out, up to leaving a little bit flipped inward at the top. So it'll be like this, where it's folded in a little bit. And then this way, then you can slip your hand in at the end, and you'll want to get it over your whole hand up to where your wrist starts. Or you can even get it, actually you can get it a little bit up your wrist, and you can even feel where it ends there, where you turned it in on itself, and then that gives you where the garment is actually going to land. So then that way you can flip the fabric up, and then it's already where it needs to be at. And then bring the sleeve up as high as you can, and then once you have it there without the glove, then you can then put that glove on. Now that you have the glove on, you can see here how the fabric is turned in on itself here. There's the ridges there. And then that way, rather than if I would just be using my fingers and picking it, don't do that. So put your glove on, and then you can scoop and pull the fabric up. And keep sliding to bring those ridges higher and higher up. And then you can take your glove off and then pull it further up now that you got the fabric up higher. So as you're putting your sleeve on, you can alternate between wearing glove and no glove for what you're needing. And then I think I can even get it a little bit more here, so there. And then there's a ridge there, so I want to smooth that out and bring the fabric up. And it is important to get it as high as you can up to your armpit. You don't want it to dig in, but you want to have it up high so that it gives you a proper compression gradient to get that fluid up to here. And then if the silicone border here, if that was like that or something or kind of off, make sure that it is laying flat on you. Yeah, like back here it turned in on itself. So I'm gonna flip that there. And it's there a little bit too. So you want to just get that smooth so it's comfortable and doesn't dig into you there. And that was it, but I want to do it again to show you also, like if things go a little bit haywire, what you can do. So I had that turned in on itself, and then now I'm going to flip it over. So there, now I can only get it up to here, but I have the handy gardening glove. So then I'll be able to pull it here, and that gets these folds up. Get all that up there. Up, up, up. And you're scooping, so you're using your whole palm. You're not just going like this. Even with the gardening glove or not, it isn't really effective to go like that. You want to use your whole palm, and that gets it up more easily. And then now I bunched it up as high as I can there. So pull, pull, pull. There. So even if you're going for it and you don't get it that high up, you can, with the different tools that you have, like with the gardening glove, you can get it up. But say if I had trouble and I kept trying and I'm like, I can't get this sleeve on, then I recommend starting over. Start from the beginning, and then that gives you a better head start. Then you can try to line it up at the tip of your wrist and get it up as high as you can. Or if you're still having trouble, and maybe, for instance, you have arthritis in your hand and you're having a hard time to get the sleeve on, then I'm going to show you a tool. The tool is a compression sleeve applicator, and there's all different brands out there. I recommend there's the Arion Easy Slide applicator. Make sure it's for arm, not leg or something else, because there's different types out there. Or there's also the Medi arm butler, so that's another great one. And you can get them at different medical supply companies, like on Lymphedema products website, or there's also Amazon. The Amazon, they are currently out of the Aerion type, but there's different brands out there. And who knows, maybe they'll be in stock when you're watching this video. So this is what the packaging might look like, and then you get it out and it looks like this. But notice, like, this is, like, it's this long, but you're actually gonna, from the side that doesn't have the handle, then you'll turn that inside out on itself. So I'm gonna do that like this, and I'm gonna pause here because I know that's loud. Once you get that turned in on itself, then it'll look like this. So you go to the halfway point, and then it fits your arm in it like this. And obviously everyone's arms might be shorter or longer, but just get it up as high as you can, or it's okay if you have extra at the end. So for this, you still want to have the sleeve turned inside out, and with that little bit of fabric right there, like inward on itself. So you still want to have it set up the same way as what I showed you without having this applicator tool. And then you'll be able to get your hand in on it too, and get it a little bit up on your wrist. So just like how we did without the applicator, and then you'll fold it on over itself, pull it as high as you can, and the applicator is this smooth material, so then it helps you to slide the sleeve on more easily. And then once you get it up as high as you can, then you can pull it off there. And I didn't get it quite as high up as I wanted, but I could restart at that point, or then use your glove. So you still want to have the glove even if you get the applicator, because still either way, even if I got it on all the way up, then there still might be those ridges. So you still want to have the glove to smooth out the ridges, because the ridges can dig into you, and then it isn't as comfortable then. And then you'll want to scoop with your glove, scoop as high up as you can. And then once you have it ending at where your wrist is, then you can pull it up as high as you can. You want to get it all the way up your arm, up to your shoulder. Then you make sure that border's smooth and that it's all smooth throughout. And you can, without the glove, feel with your hand too. If you're like, oh, I can't tell if there's a ridge back here, check with your hand and then use your gardening glove to smooth it. But that's all smooth. And now you might be wondering, well, I have my sleeve on, how do I get the handpiece on? So for the handpiece, you actually just put that right on like you would any other glove. You don't even need to use a gardening glove. Well, you can if you're noticing like there's ridges or anything, but it tends to be that you don't even need to use anything. You can just get it on. And again, you want to put that on after the sleeve. Notice too that now I'm wearing a shirt without sleeves. However, if you're intending to wear a shirt that with sleeves, or a jacket or button up or something like that, then I recommend, if possible, to put on the sleeve before you put that on, because then that way you don't have to roll your sleeve up, or maybe your sleeve doesn't roll, the sleeve of your shirt doesn't roll up, so then put on the compression sleeve first. Or if you're out somewhere and then you're realizing like, oh, this is a high-risk task, I do want to put my sleeve and handpiece on, then try to run to a bathroom if accessible, and then you can swap it out there. Like take off your shirt and then put the sleeve on and then put it back on, just for your ease. So now I'm going to move into removing it. Again, with the handpiece, it's just like a glove, so you can just take that off. You still want to try to avoid picking at it, but you can just pull from the end off. And then with this, what you do is start from the top here and then just pull it off. And that's it. So notice I didn't bunch up the fabric or pull it down or start from here. It's really the most effective and easy it tends to be to just pull it from the top, and you just keep pulling from the top all the way till it's off. You don't need to like pull here and then pull at a different part. You can just get it right off in one shot. And also when you're applying, you don't want to bunch it up, so you wouldn't want to be bunching it up like you would maybe a sock or pants. Just avoid that, because then for the integrity of the fabric as well as for your ease. Now for washing instructions, and on the pamphlet that's under the tips that I had gone over in the beginning, that is down here. And then I also forgot to mention in the center here is what I just went through in terms of putting it on and taking it off, and this gives you an image of that easy slide applicator. So for washing, you can wash it in delicate cycle on a washing machine, or you can hand wash it, but you don't have to hand wash it. You can use a machine, and then it's ideal to put it in a garment bag if you have one, just to further protect the fabric. And you do want to, it might be counterintuitive to what you think, like maybe you were thinking that you'd want to limit how much you wash it, but you actually do want to wash it after each use or after about every other or every few uses. It could also depend on how long of a time you're wearing it. Like if you're only wearing it for about 15 minutes a few times, then you can wait after a few times. And you'll also tell, like, if you notice you're especially sweating, then you probably want to wash it anyway. But the point that I was getting to is you do want to wash it fairly often in order to keep the compression. So as you're wearing it, like as any fabric would, it will stretch out. So just keep washing it to keep it as compressed as possible, so then it stays effective. Because if it loses compression after so much time, then it's not containing you, so then it's not doing its job. And you will need to, it depends on your wear schedule, like, so if you're doing it for high risk tasks and that doesn't happen too often, then maybe after a year you would need to get a fresh one. And that's just because over time, as does any like clothing and fabric, it will wear out. So that's important so that you get the proper containment and compression. And then to dry it, you don't want to use a drying machine because that could then shrink it too much. But so you do want to then hang dry it and air it out that way. And then just a little note on the washing again. So you don't want to use any fabric softener, and it is also ideal and important for the fabric to use a delicate detergent. So that could be all free and clear, or Wool Light, or Wool Tide free and clear, something like that. And like I mentioned before, there's also going to be washing instructions in the packaging of whatever garment you get. On the this page of the pamphlet, it looks like this. I just have a quick tip on when you are wearing compression. So again, you don't want to limit yourself. Like, do what you want to do, and movement is actually great for the lymphatic system. That promotes lymphatic flow. And compression during movement, which you should be wearing anyway, like I was talking about before, if you're doing exercise and a lot of like repetitive movements or strenuous activities. But movement in general is great for the lymphatic system and compression. So in combination, that's like ultra great for the lymphatic system. So do any type of exercise to get moving. Like, any type is great. So and even if that means sitting for you, and if you're more fatigued, then doing some maybe chair stretches or something like chair yoga. Don't limit yourself, just get moving in some way. And exercise actually can help reduce fatigue, which maybe it's the opposite of what you think. But people can experience, as you might know, cancer-related fatigue, and it obviously within reason, like you do need to rest too, but exercise and movement is great, and it more energizes you and counteracts that cancer-induced fatigue. And then also specifically aerobic exercises are really beneficial. So that's things like walking, running, riding a bike, or swimming. And a little added bonus to swimming is that water is a natural compression. So as long as your affected limb is beneath the water, then you will get that natural compression. And of course you wouldn't wear a compression sleeve or handpiece when you're in water, but then it's great that the water actually gives you compression, so that prevents swelling when you're, and it would be if your limb is fully in the water. And then other options are to try yoga, Pilates, or chair stretches. And I think yoga is also a really great option because it oftentimes then promotes, yoga instructors will promote breathing, which is relaxing and can reduce stress, but deep breathing is also really great for your lymphatic system. And again, it is important to wear the compression garments during movement. That's ideal, and that just gets your lymphatic system pumping even better. That wraps it up for the information that I wanted to share on compression garment wear and care. But if you are experiencing tightness or limitations in your range of motion, you can, and I had mentioned that in the beginning of the video, but you can actually access videos on stretching for that. There's an arm and chest stretches playlist within this lymphedema education and support channel that you're watching this video through right now. So you can see the title of this video and then click on the channel to then get to all the other different videos. And there's also videos on the manual lymphatic drainage massage that I was talking about. So you can access videos on that, and then that also is a great tool in addition to the compression. They work together. So you can access videos on self-massage that you can do there. And then maybe you have more questions or want more information, so I'm just going to go on the back of the pamphlet here and give you a little bit more details about these. So at the top is where you can re-access the channel on YouTube. So you would go on YouTube, search Lymphedema Education and Support, and then select the desired video. And I know you found it if you're here now, but that just explains how you can get back. And if you print this out, then you can scan the QR code to easily get back to the channel, or you can share with others. And then I also have different resources on here for lymphedema as well as breast cancer. and it gives different on these resources. It gives you more insight into what lymphedema is, and preventative care, and support groups, or ways to find support in the community. And there are a couple, in terms of the communities, they are in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania area. But if you're not in the Lehigh Valley, then I would recommend to search online for different support groups for lymphedema or breast cancer. And also, you can reach out to your lymphedema therapist or your doctor and ask if they have any resources for support that they could provide, or if there's a certain facility that you go to or one in your area, you could call them and ask them if they know of anything, because they might even have a support group right there, or different resources or tips that maybe other patients had provided. So that can be a great way to get more resources. And if you are on Facebook, you could also search there. And even if you don't have Facebook, you could always get it and use it just for that. Like, I have Facebook, but I only go on it for a work Facebook group, so you can just use it for that. And one that I just wanted to hone in on is Cancer Support Community in Greater Lehigh Valley. And they are really active, and they offer different in-person or virtual events, and they also have resources by phone or handouts, and it's free of cost. And there's, in terms of the different events that are online or in person, there's ones like lunches, there's singing bowl or meditations, there's lymphatic yoga, and there's all different ones. They're all throughout the week. And even if there's one that doesn't fit into your schedule, I still think it could be great to go on their website, because there's also other resources, or maybe a different event could even be arranged that you're interested in, and you could ask about that, and then maybe you could arrange it or someone else could arrange it. There's also a community garden too. There was one I was forgetting, but there's even more than that. So that's just a great one. And again, if you are in the Lehigh Valley, there might be something similar like that, or you could still check out this website and see what's out there. Just to elaborate and expand a little bit more on community and support, maybe you're nervous about meeting new people, but you're interested on starting, or maybe you're not nervous, but either way, whether if you're hesitant to start in any way, it can be great just to try it out for one go, and then if you find that it's not for you, or you don't feel like you benefited that much, then you never have to go back, but at least you went for it. And then you never know who you might meet or what different resources you might come across, and it can just be a really beautiful way to offer support to others, give different tips that you learned, or as well as learn different tips from others. So it's kind of like you can share and give back and forth and meet people who are maybe experiencing something similar to you. I wanted to highlight that because you are important, and whether you have a full schedule or not, but maybe you have a more hectic schedule and you're like, when am I even gonna fit this in, but I really would love to do something like that, then I say try to build the time in one time, just focus on that, like the next day or that one time, and then it can really have a significant impact on you, even just from one go at it, and you never know what you might learn or gain from that. So that wraps it up for this video. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it, and I'm so happy that you headed on here. And I hope you have a lovely day or evening, and you can always head back here for more information on compression wear, or check out the other videos. Thank you. Bye.